Hello and welcome to today's math lesson. So first of all guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our lap and close our eyes. And when you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Excellent. And next we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And we can begin by stretching up high to the sky. High as we can. And then go down low, touch your toes. Back up high one more time. And this time, let's go tippy toe high. And while we're there, let's have a wave side to side. And then back down to our toes once more. And then we can stand up straight, hands on hips, and let's have a wiggle side to side. Stop, and another wiggle. Stop, and now forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, and stop. And next we can go round and round. Round and round. And stop. And then back the other way. Round and round the other way. And stop. And to finish, let's have a shake, guys. Arms and legs. Shake it out. Arms and legs. And then to finish, we'll do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So in today's math class, we're going to be learning about a new topic. And the name of that topic is fractions. Yes, fractions. So first of all, let's write that word on the board. Fractions, F, R, A, C, T, I, O, N, S. Fractions. And because today is our first lesson with fractions, it's going to be an introduction. So fractions, introduction. INTRODUCTION. U C T I O N. So all together, guys, fractions introduction. Now, does anybody have any idea or can have a guess, what does fractions mean? What is a fraction? Don't be scared, have a guess. Even if you're wrong, it's okay to guess before I tell you. Or shall I tell you? A fraction is a part of a whole. So let's write that phrase. Fraction, a part, P-A-R-T, of a whole. So altogether, guys, fractions are part of a whole. And I'll show you what I mean right now. What I'm going to draw is a circle, or we can call that circle a pie. Okay, so here we have a circle. Now there's no fraction yet because it's one complete circle. This is what we call a whole. So if we were to draw the fraction, it would be like this. 1 over 1. Because there's no fraction yet, it is one complete circle. However, what happens now if I draw a line down the center of our circle? How many parts can you see to the circle? 2, okay? So there are 2 parts to the circle. Now, if I was to colour in this half of the circle, how many parts of the circle does this side represent? There's 2 parts, 1, 2. And how many parts does this side represent? 1. You see? We can call this half of the circle 1/2, or 1 over 2. Because the circle is made up of 2 parts. But if we want to identify this part on the right side here, it's only 1 part. So the fraction we're talking about is 1/2, or 1 over 2. Now let's have a look at another example. First of all, I'll need to clear the circle. And how about this time if I draw 2 lines? I'll draw 1 line here and 1 line here. So how many parts to our circle now? 4. Okay, so now we're not talking about 2 parts, we're talking about 4. And let's say if I colour in just this part here. How many parts of our circle does this represent? 1. You see? We're talking about 1 part within 4 different parts. So we can call this 1/4. This is a quarter, or again, we can also say 1 over 4. Yes, because there's 4 different parts, and 1 part represents a quarter. But wait a moment. How about if I now colour in another segment of our circle? How many segments are now coloured in blue? 2. So now, we don't say 1 over 4, what do we say? 2 over 4. Or, we don't say 1/4 anymore. 2 quarters. And we don't say 1 over 4, what do we say? 2 over 4. Because each time we fill in a different segment of the circle, we have to alter our fraction. Now let's do one more before we move on. This time, guys, you tell me. How many parts of our circle are coloured in blue? 3. So what number do I write here? 3. You notice this number never changes because the same number of parts of the circle are staying the same. So it's always 4 parts, but we're always looking at the parts of the circle that are coloured in blue. And this time it's 3/4. So what number do I write here? 3. T, H, R, E, E. 3/4. Or we can say 3/4. T, H, R, E, E. And now, the final time. How about if I fill in the complete circle? What do we think?
0.
We can say 4/4. It's complete. So therefore, we can go back to 1 complete whole. Because the 4 segments of the circle are all coloured in blue. So now the entire circle is blue. So instead of saying 4/4, which we can also say 1 whole. And this is how we work out fractions based on the different parts of a shape or a circle. So that was excellent, guys. Very well done. And what we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation for our students to listen to and observe, and also practice speaking so that they can learn more about fractions and the different types of fractions that we'll be looking at in future lessons. So let's turn to look at the TV screen, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation, Fractions, Introduction. Yes, guys. And remember earlier when I said the definition of fraction is parts of a whole. So if we look at the picture here, we can see a circle. Well, how many parts to the circle? 4. You can see the circle is divided into 4 parts. Now, how many parts of the circle are orange? 1. Okay? So we can say that 1/4 of the circle is orange. 1/4 or 1/4. Yes, because we divide the circle into 4 separate parts, and we can see that 1 part is orange. How about in green? How many parts are in green? 3. So we can say 3/4 or 3/4. A fraction is a number that represents part of a whole. Yes, and we can look here with the different shapes. If we start on the left, the red shape is just 1 complete part. So here, no fraction, because it's 1 complete part. But then, if we cut that into 2 halves, you can see here we have 2 separate parts. And each part represents half. Then, how many parts in the next? 3. Okay? So each part represents 1/3 or 1/3 because there's 3 different parts. How about yellow? 4. So each part represents 1/4. And each time we cut the shape or whatever it is into different parts, the total number of parts is the bottom number. And then the number at the top is the number that part represents. And we can go on and on and on until we get to black. How many different parts in black? 12. You can see. the bottom number is 12. And each individual one represents 1. 1 over 12. Or 1/12. The numbers represent the different parts of an object. Now we can see the same shape 4 times here. What shape can you see, guys? Circle. Yes. So let's have a look at this circle first. How many different parts? 2. And how many parts does the blue represent?
1.
So you can see 1 over 2. And how many parts in white? 1 over 2. But then, how about the circle below? How many different parts? 3. You see, it's cut into 3 different parts, so the bottom number is 3. How many parts in green?
1.
Yes, 1 over 3, or 1/3. That's what we mean by a fraction, the part of the whole. And in this circle, how many different parts? 4, or quarters. How many parts does the pink represent? 1. 1/4, or 1 over 4. You can see the 1 is over the 4, so we can say 1 over 4. And then our final circle, how many different parts? 8. And we know that because the bottom number is 8. So, how many parts can you see in red? 1. 1 over 8, or 1/8. The number at the top of the fraction is known as the numerator. The top number. What's the number here? 1. Because we've got 1 part of 4. And what's the top number here? 3. Because we've got 3 parts of 4. The top number in a fraction, numerator. And then the bottom number. The number at the bottom of the fraction is known as the denominator. Yes, the bottom number, which tells us how many parts of the whole, denominator. Now, what do you notice about the denominator? Here it is. And what is it here? 4. You can see the bottom number doesn't change because the bottom number represents the total number of parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. In a fraction, it's the top number, the numerator, that will change based on the number of parts. Here, 1 part, so 1 over 4, or 1/4. And here, 3 parts, so 3 over 4, or 3/4. The coloured parts of each shape here represent 1/2, or 1 over 2. Yeah, you can see the different shapes, and the coloured part is always exactly half. 1 over 2, or 1/2. But then, if we cut the shapes up a little bit more, the coloured parts of each shape here represent 1/4, or 1 over 4. Yes, they're not halves anymore, there's more shapes. When we cut a half into a half, we get quarters. So how many different parts, guys? 4. you can see the denominator is always the same, 4. And then the coloured parts represent how many? 1. So they're all 1/4, or 1/4. A proper fraction has a smaller numerator than the denominator. Yes, you can see here the number on top is number 3. What's the denominator? 5. So this is a proper fraction. The top number is smaller than the bottom number. However, an improper fraction has a numerator equal to or greater than the denominator. What's the numerator here? 5. What's the denominator?
4.
Which number is bigger? 5. Yes. So this is what we call an improper fraction. Because how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our denominator. But we have 5 numerators. You see, we've got an extra one here. So we have to say 5/4. And that's what we call improper fraction. A mixed number is made up of a whole number and a proper fraction. Yes, a whole number is a number on its own. What's our whole number here? 3. And then, following a whole number, we get the fraction. What's our fraction here? 1/2. Or we can say half. Yes, because 1 is half of 2. So the mixed number here, we would say 3.5. Yes. Okay, guys, now it's quiz time. What fraction does the white segment of pi represent? So first of all, count the total parts of the pie. How many parts? 3. How many parts in white? 1. So we say 1/3. Yes, or 1/3. You see, we can write the fraction 1/3, 1/3. Next one. Now, what fraction does the purple segment of pi represent? 2/3. See, don't fall into the trap of just counting whites, you see? Count the total numbers first. We have 1, 2, 3. And how many in purple? 2. So we say 2/3. Or 2/3. Yes. And the fraction looks like this. 2 in purple over 3 in total. Last one. What fraction does the green segment of pi represent? 3/5. Well done, guys. The first thing to do, count the total number of parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's our bottom number, 5, our denominator. Then count the numbers in green. How many in green? So we say 3/5 or 3/5. You see? Excellent, guys. Any questions? Okay, that was brilliant. Very well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation about fractions. And for most students at this age, it might be a new subject. But not to worry, because what we're going to do is learn in a step-by-step process about the different types of fractions. And coming up, we've got a board exercise so our students can understand further. But first of all, guys, time for our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And for this sequence, we'll begin with some stretches. So let's do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we'll do 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. And now for some rotations. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Excellent. And now let's shake it out. Arms and legs, shake it out. And now we'll take our right hand and find our left foot. Then left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And final couple now. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And to finish, we will do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So what we've got coming up now is a board exercise to help our students understand fractions and to also remember that fractions don't have to come as part of a circle all the time or as part of a pie. Fractions can be part of any shape. And what we're going to do now is a board exercise for our students to demonstrate their understanding of working fractions out in parts of a bar. So the first thing to do is to draw a bar on the board. And the bar can look something like this. Now, so far, there is no fraction because the bar that I have drawn is one complete whole. Remember, a fraction is a part of a whole. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw the fraction here below the bar. And then I'm going to invite a student to come forward and colour in the part of the bar that I select. So, let's see, the first one we can go with what do we have, guys? 1 over 2, or we can say 1 half. Okay, so now I'll ask my students to close their eyes. When they wake up, one of them will have a pen and I will ask them to draw 1/2 of our bar in blue marker. So let's see who has the blue marker. Okay, so the marker pen is now with Latgao. Okay, Latgao, so we have our complete bar, 1 whole. What I would like Latgao to do is to draw 1/2 of this bar in blue. So remembering, how many parts do we need to the bar? 2. Okay. So Latgao will draw a blue, excellent, down the middle. And now, how many parts are we asking to be in blue? 1. Okay. Don't worry, you don't have to colour it all in. You can just put blue marks to say 1/2. Excellent. you see, Lackow has perfectly understood my request for 1/2 of our bar to be coloured in blue. How many parts in blue, guys? 1, which is represented by our numerator. How many total parts? 1, 2, which is represented by our denominator. So we can say 1/2 of our bar is coloured in blue. All together, guys, 1/2. Excellent. So high five for Lackow and a big round of applause, please. So teachers, you can see the activity that we're doing in our classroom now. You can pause the video and play on with your own students in your own classroom. And remember to have a different student come forward and work out the fraction each time. And we're going to carry on playing here. But first of all, I need to clean the board. Now we have our bar back to its original form, 1 complete whole. But now I would like what's our fraction, guys?
3/4.
Perfect. Or we're looking for 3/4. Yes, when we put something into 4, we put them into quarters. So I'm looking for 3/4 of our bar to be coloured in blue. And let's see who can do this now. And now the marker pen is with Pak Bung. Okay, so Pak Bung, come and join me at the front. Okay, so the first thing to do, guys, how many different parts do we need to the bar? 4. Okay, so Pak Bung, can you put our bar into 4 parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine, you've done it. You don't need to do the 4th one, it's already there. Okay, so now we've got 4/4. And how many parts of our bar have I asked Pak Bung to colour in blue? 3. Okay, so Pak Bung, take it away. How about this one? No? Okay, well done, well worked out. Excellent. So how many parts of our bar are now coloured in blue? 3. Well, how many total parts of our bar do we have?
4.
So Pak Bung has correctly recognised and demonstrated 3/4 or 3/4 is coloured in blue. And that was perfect. Very well done, Pak Bung. High five and a big round of applause for Pak Bung, please, guys. Okay, time for our next fraction. But first of all, I'll clean the board. And this time, let me see. Okay, so you help me out with this one, guys. How many total parts shall we have for the bar? 8. Okay. So we have 8 total parts. And how many do we need to colour in blue? 7. Okay. So now our fraction is looking like 7/8. Or we can say 7 eighths. Okay, how many total parts do we need? How many do we need in blue? Okay, so let's see who can fill in this fraction for us. And now the marker pen is with Nadia. Okay, Nadia, so big job on for Nadia, 7/8. How many parts to our bar do we need in total? 8. Okay, Nadia, 8 parts to our bar, so they'll be small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is already there waiting. Excellent, Nadia. Let's count them together, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the denominator is correct, 8. Now, Nadia, we need 7 parts in blue. We need 7/8 of our bar coloured in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many more? 1. Perfect. How many parts of our bar are in blue? 7. How many total parts to our bar?
8.
So we can say 7/8 in blue, or 7/8. And Nadia, that was excellent. High five. Big round of applause for Nadia, please, guys. Do we have time for one more? Let's do one more. Okay. This time we'll go with an odd number. What's our fraction now? 2/3, or 2/3. Well done, 2/3. Okay, so now we need 2/3 of our bar to be coloured in blue. But what student is going to do it? Let's see. And the pen is with Dan. So Dan, please come forward and demonstrate how to colour in 2/3 of our bar into blue. So first of all, how many total parts, guys? 3. Okay, so 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. Excellent, Dan. Now, how many parts do we need in blue? 2. Okay, so Dan, take it away. And don't worry, you don't have to colour it in totally. You can, excellent. That's perfect. You see, Dan understands the fraction that we want from our bar is 2/3 in blue. 1, 2. So we can say in blue 2/3 or 2/3. And Dan, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Dan, please, guys. And now it's time for our worksheet part of the lesson. So teachers, make sure every student in your class gets their own worksheet. And for this exercise, our students can use their colouring pencils, because what we're asking them to do is similar to the board exercise, is demonstrate their understanding of fractions by colouring in the fraction of the bar that is asked in the question. And they can colour in using any colours that they like, just to make sure that the fraction that they end up with is the correct one. For example, the first one is asking for 1/2 or 1/2. So that means that 1 part or half of your fraction will need to be coloured in the colour that you want. And give our students around 10 minutes for this activity, because there's 5 different questions. And what's the first thing to do, guys? Write our names on top, yes. So teachers, just monitor the class and help them with anything they need. So Lakau, this one's for you. Prao, for you.
Thank you, teacher.
Down, this one's for you.
Thank you, teacher.
Chu, here's yours.
Thank you.
Nadia, for you. Pat, this one's for you. Pak Bung, for you. and net, finally, for you. Okay, guys, so by now you should have a good understanding of fractions. Have a look in the question of each different fraction, and then you can colour in to answer correctly. Okay, net, that's not colour, you need to colour. Yeah, you need to colour them, guys. So the first one is 1/2. So you should colour in exactly 1/2 of your bar. And then the next one, 3/5. So that means there'll be 5 parts in total, but 3 of them need to be coloured in. I can't see any colour. And you can change your colour for each different answer too. So your first one could be red, your second one could be green, your third one could be blue. Up to you. As long as your fractions are correct, you can use whatever colours you like. So Ned, how many? What's the number here? 1, 2. So you need another one, yes. You're asking for 3/5, not 2/5. Excellent, Prao. See, you can do a different colour for each question. That way your worksheets look prettier, they look nicer. Well done, Pak Bung. You can see 1/2, and then 3/5. How many for this one?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/7. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet exercise where they had to colour in the different parts of the bar based on the fractions after them in the questions. And this is a good way for them to demonstrate their knowledge of the overall parts of the whole, which we call the fractions. And that's all we've got time for today. So we hope you've enjoyed the lesson and now understand a little bit more about fractions. And we'll see you again soon for the next lesson. So can we turn to wave and say goodbye, guys? Bye-bye. See you again soon.